let's take our little break right here. We're going to talk about some North America news as our
Yeah.
little palate cleanser between groups. Um, let's start with this. There is a team in ECL, which for those of you in Europe that don't know what ECL is, because I don't know if that actually is in Europe, is
We have something similar, I think.
it's the ESL Challenger League. Basically, it's
Yeah.
the top league for NA. It's what you get if you play through all of ESEA, you get to that. I don't think
Yeah.
ESEA is particularly prevalent in EU either, but that's its own matter. Um,
No, we use very similar.
yeah, so ESEA leagues, top of the ESEA is ESL Challenger League, which is ECL. You have to make it through everything and then play a qualifying series. It can't just be anyone. And there are legitimate-ish orgs that are in ECL.
Legitimate-ish is so funny, by the way.
There's too many fucking acronyms here, okay?
Yeah.
There are too many acronyms. Noun is in ECL. Legacy is in ECL. Wildcards in ECL. Party Astronauts was in ECL. May still be. NRG is in ECL. The top
Nouns and NRG are legitimate orgs.
M80 was in ECL when they had a full lineup. I think they are still in ECL. I'm not totally sure on that one. Basically, the only two NA teams that aren't in ECL are Liquid and Complexity because they spend so much time in Europe that they can't actively be in ECL.
Yeah.
There's a team called Perseverance. They have a roster of a bunch of players that you don't know or care about, other than Kojomo, who you may have known from. We've talked about him in conjunction with the Davenport roster a couple times, which he was on about 5 rosters ago.
Right.
The team has been banned. Team's called Perseverance. The players of this team have been banned from ECL because they tried to emergency reschedule a match by faking texts from a power company saying that a player's power was out because they had just recently made a player change and the old player could still play, but the new player couldn't, or they weren't within, or it was illegal for them to play before a certain day. Something was going on with a new player not being able to play, but the old player being able to play. And they didn't want to play with the old player, so they faked a power company text. And it is glorious.
The irony of being called Perseverance and being kicked out because you just couldn't be asked to play is so funny.
So the org has dropped the roster completely. They had a whole they put a big thing out that I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's exactly what you think, but I do need to note that in the bottom left, in the thank you for reading this, is thank you. That is all for now. Period. Perseverance Gaming Management, and all I can think about when I read that is the Bugs Bunny. That's all, folks. At the end of Bugs Bunny, it's all I can think about.
To me, that is maybe the most passive aggressive thing I've ever heard.
I know, it's great.
Statement. It's so good.
But so Dust 2 did some excellent investigation, okay? And I suggest that everyone go read the Dust 2 article because there are screenshots and they did weather maps on dates. They did an excellent job. I have a huge amount of respect for Dust 2 on this. But the actual image of the text was shared with Dust 2. And it says it misspells the word experience and is just so grammatically incorrect that I do not know how a single person would say that it was a power company.
Well, the sort of person who thinks this is who thinks this will work is not the type of person who can spell. And if you can spell, you don't think this is a good idea.
There's some other insane bits here. The message from the power company came through as an iMessage.
Amazing.
That's not happening.
Such attention to detail.
They screenshot the weather app here, and it shows that there's rain. And then Dust 2 goes and looks and says, apparently only 50 miles from weather data 50 miles away from the actual screenshot, there was only 0.73 inches of rain, which is a centimeter and a half. And it topped out at 13 miles an hour of wind, which, quote, is not likely to create a high risk of power outages. It is excellent.
It's so half-baked. It's something that would only happen in North America. It couldn't
It's the
happen
most
anywhere else in
NA
the world.
shit. And that's so insane because we literally 2 or 3 years ago, we had an entire segment of this podcast dedicated to alarms with North America because a player slept through his match.
Yeah.
That was at like 7 p.m. or some shit. That was so much of a bit that when I went to Fragadelphia 2 years ago, I brought clocks with me to hand out to players.
Yeah.
And that is somehow not the stupidest thing because this is.
It's just so half-baked. I can't get over how...
It's bad.
You would have a better chance if you just said, we've got a power outage on one of our players.
They
If you
fought
just
too
said
hard.
that, they'd probably just go, fuck it, whatever. Like, they actually wouldn't care. But because you've gone so far as to fake it so badly, it just clearly doesn't... And maybe there's rules where you actually have to prove that one of your players has a power outage. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how you could prove they had a power outage if they had a power outage.
I do have to say, I love that it's the message says, my power company is sending me alerts about power outages tomorrow. If I can show proof, can we reschedule? And this was against Mythic, so the Fl0m stream team. It wasn't even against like Nouns or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you want a screenshot of this? And then he drops 3 screenshots.
That's what I mean. Like, he's too keen to share the fake screen. Look, I'm not going to teach people how to lie because I'm not particularly good at it myself. I'm a terrible liar. But I think step 1 is
don't do this.
Don't overshare. Just say, shit, sorry, I got a power outage tomorrow. Can we reschedule? Wait for them to answer.
How do you say, I have a power outage tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a bit like, sorry, I can't come to your party tomorrow. I've got a headache. This doesn't make sense.
This is like the fucking... There's a tweet that's from a professor that was like, I used to teach a class at 8 a.m. and 31 kids' grandparents died during that class. But the second I moved the class to noon, all of these grandparents are still alive. I am personally making sure that grandparents stay alive. And obviously it's because people were like, no, fuck you. I'm not going to 8 a.m. class. But like...
Yeah, I wouldn't go today. I didn't go to many 8 a.m.
But my point still stands. Is like, why are you saying all this shit? Just don't show up.
Just like, well, quite like that's what I mean. Like the easiest way to lie is to not lie at all, or just make it as light as possible. To say, sorry, can we reschedule? Wait for them to say yes or no. If they say that doesn't sound real, then apparently you can send the screenshots.
Apparently, it was an emergency reschedule or something. But
does that matter? I don't know.
It doesn't. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. It just seems so. He's just. It's like he wanted to be caught.